In this video, we're going to start the KutaSoftware free worksheet, Writing Linear Equations. I'll leave a link in the description below so you know how to access this worksheet. We're going to split this worksheet up into 3 videos, and in the first video, we're going to do what the first direction tells us. Write the slope-intercept form of the equation of each line. So this will be numbers 1 through 8. And as a quick reminder, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So in number 1, we have 3x minus 2y equals a negative 16. We need to isolate the y, so we're going to start by moving the 3x to the other side. When we subtract by 3x, we're left with negative 2y on the left-hand side, and then negative 3x plus a negative 16. And that's on the right-hand side. And you can tell we're almost there, except y cannot have a coefficient, so we're just going to divide by negative 2. When we divide by negative 2, we'll have a positive y on the left, and then we're going to split this fraction. So we'll have negative 3x over negative 2 plus negative 16 over negative 2. Negative 3x over negative 2 plus negative 16 over negative 2. Now we're going to simplify. Y equals negative 3 over negative 2 is simply a positive 3 over 2, so this will be 3 halves times x, plus negative 16 divided by negative 2. Negative divided by a negative is a positive, 16 divided by 2 is 8. So in slope-intercept form, 3x minus 2y equals negative 16 is y equals 3 halves x plus 8. Moving on to number 2, we're going to start by subtracting 13x. That'll leave us with negative 11y on the left, and then we'll have negative 13x plus a negative 12, or you can leave it as minus 12, whatever you prefer. Now to isolate the y, we're just going to divide by negative 11. We'll have a positive y on the left-hand side, and then we're going to split this again, so we'll have negative 13 over negative 11, which is a positive 13 over 11 times x, and then that's going to be added to negative 12 over negative 11, which is positive 12 over 11. And neither of those fractions can be simplified, so y equals 13/11 x plus 12/11 is the answer for number 2. In number 3, we're going to subtract 9x from both sides. Doing that will leave us with negative 7y on the left and negative 9x plus negative 7 on the right. Then we'll divide everything by negative 7. We'll have y on the left-hand side, and then 9 over 7 times x plus negative 7 over negative 7, which is a positive 1. Y equals 9/7 x plus 1 is the solution for number 3. And if you get confused when you're splitting this fraction, just break it down. Write out negative 9x over negative 7 plus negative 7 over negative 7, and then simplify to reach your equation. Number 4, x minus 3y equals 6. Subtract x from both sides. We'll have negative 3y equals negative x plus 6. Divide both sides by negative 3 to get that y is equal to a negative over a negative is a positive, and the coefficient with this x is 1. So we'll have 1/3 times x plus 6 over negative 3 is going to be negative 2. So y equals 1/3 x plus negative 2, or you can say y equals 1/3 x minus 2. And number 5, 6x plus 5y equals negative 15. We're going to start by subtracting 6x from both sides. We'll be left with 5y on the left-hand side of the equation, and then negative 6x plus negative 15 on the right. Divide both sides by that positive 5, which is the coefficient of y. Then we'll be left with y on the left-hand side, negative 6/5 x plus negative 15 over positive 5 is a negative 3. Y equals negative 6/5 x plus negative 3, or you can say y equals negative 6/5 x minus 3. In number 6, I'm going to show you another way. You don't necessarily have to start with subtracting the x from both sides. We need to isolate this y, but we can do so by adding y to both sides. When we do that, we'll be left with 4x on the left, and that's going to be equal to 1 plus y. But remember, we're isolating this y, so now we're just going to move the 1 to the other side. So subtract 1 from both sides, and you'll get 4x minus 1, or plus a negative 1, equals y. Now, if you want it in the exact form of y equals mx plus b, just flip the equation. Y equals 4x minus 1, or plus a negative 1. And there you have the solution for number 6. In number 7, 11x minus 4y equals 32. I'm going to start by subtracting 11x. We'll have negative 4y equal to negative 11x plus a positive 32. Our next step will be to divide by that negative 4 to get y isolated. We'll be left with y on the left-hand side, and that will be equal to negative 11x over negative 4 plus 32 over negative 4. The negative 11x over negative 4 is the same as a positive 11/4 x, and then 32 divided by negative 4 is going to be a negative 8. So y equals 11/4 x minus 8, or plus a negative 8, however you prefer to write it, is the solution for number 7. And lastly for this video, number 8. But before I go over the answer to this, please remember to subscribe to my channel and like this video. Now that you've done that, let's go over the answer. We're going to subtract 11x from both sides, and we'll have negative 8y equaling negative 11x plus a negative 48. Divide both sides by negative 8, and we'll be left with y on the left, and that will equal negative 11 over negative 8 times x, which is 11/8 x, plus negative 48 over negative 8, which is a positive 6. So the answer for number 8 is y equals 11/8 x plus 6. And if you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. In this video, we're continuing on with the free KutaSoftware worksheet, writing linear equations. I'll leave a link in the description below so you know how to access that worksheet. Our directions for this second video are to write the standard form of the equation of the line through the given point with the given slope. So we're given a point, we're given a slope, and we need to write that in standard form. Standard form, if you remember, is ax plus by equals c. So we need a linear equation that's in this form, standard form. However, we're given a point and a slope, so we're going to use point-slope form and then rearrange that equation to get to standard form. Point-slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, where y sub 1 and x sub 1 are the given point and m is the slope. So we're going to use x, y, plug those in for x1, y1, and then we're going to plug in the slope for m. So going over the steps one more time, we're using the given point and the slope, entering those into an equation in point slope form, and then rearranging that equation to get to standard form. So let's get started. Using point slope form, we have y minus y1, which is 2, and that's going to be equal to m, which is 7, times x minus x1, which is 1. Now we're going to distribute the slope of 7 to the x and to this 1. So we'll have y minus 2 on the left-hand side equals 7 times x, so 7x minus 7 times 1, which is 7. Now we're going to rearrange to get ax plus by equal to c. So we need the x to go to this side with the y, and we need this 2 to go to this side with the 7. So we're going to start by subtracting 7x from both sides. When we do that, we'll get negative 7x plus y minus 2 equals negative 7. And now we just have to add 2 to both sides. So this will give us, I'll write this step over here, negative 7x plus y, which is equal to a negative 5. However, we're not quite in standard form yet. One of the caveats, or one of the rules of standard form, is that a, b, and c can have no common factors, which is true in this case, but also a has to be a positive number. So in order to fix that, we're going to multiply everything by negative 1. So multiplying the left by negative 1 and multiplying the right by negative 1. Negative 1 times negative 7 is a positive 7x plus negative 1 times y will be negative y, and that's going to be equal to negative 5 times negative 1, which is a positive 5. So the answer for number 9 is 7x plus negative y equals 5. Or you can say 7x minus y equals 5, because adding a negative is the same as subtracting a positive. So go ahead and make a little note on your paper in case you forget that this a has to be positive. If you need help with writing standard form, I've done a tutorial on that, so go check it out on my channel. And number 10, let's write this in point slope form and then convert to standard form. Y minus y1, so y minus a negative 1 is equal to m, the slope, negative 1 times x minus x1 of 3. Now we're going to distribute this negative 1 and simplify. Y minus negative 1 is y plus 1, and that's going to be equal to negative 1x plus a positive 3, because a negative times a negative is a positive. Now let's move the x to the other side and this 1 to the right hand side. So we're going to add 1x to both sides. So that'll be x plus y plus 1 equals 3. And now we'll subtract 1 from both sides to get that x plus y equals a positive 2. Ax plus by equals c. In number 11, y minus y1 is y minus 5, and that's equal to the slope of negative 4, our m, times x minus x1, so x minus a negative 2, which is x plus 2. Distributing the negative 4, we get y minus 5 equals negative 4x plus a negative 8. Add 4x to both sides to get that 4x plus y minus 5 equals negative 8. Now all we have to do is add 5 to both sides. We'll have 4x plus y equal to a negative 3. ax plus by equals c. So 4x plus y equals negative 3 is the solution for number 11. Number 12, y minus y1, y minus 5 equals m 5/3 times x minus x1, which is 3. Distributing the 5/3, y minus 5 on the left equals 5/3 x minus 5/3 times 3 is 5. Moving 5/3 x to the other side, we'll get negative 5/3 x plus y minus 5 equals a negative 5. Then we'll add 5 to both sides. That will give us negative 5/3 x plus y equals negative 5 plus 5 is 0. And we're almost in standard form. However, this a is negative, which we know it can't be. And for ax plus by, a, b, and c must be integers. So let's go ahead and make it all positive first. So we'll multiply by negative 1 on both sides. So we'll have 5/3 x plus negative y equals 0 times negative 1 is 0. And in order to make 5/3 an integer, we're going to multiply by the denominator. Whatever we do to the left side of the equation, we must do to the right. So we're going to multiply by a positive 3 to both sides. 3 times 5/3 is going to be 5x, and that's going to be added to 3 times negative y, which is negative 3y, and that equals 0 times 3, which is 0. So in standard form, 5x minus 3y equals 0, or 5x plus negative 3y equals 0. So again, remember for standard form, a, b, and c are integers. A is non-negative, therefore a has to be positive, and there are no common factors between a, b, and c. And number 13, y minus y1 is going to be y plus 4, since minusing a negative is the same as adding a positive, and that's going to be equal to the slope of negative 1 times x minus 2. We'll get y plus 4 equals negative x plus 2 after we distribute the negative 1. Moving the x to the other side, we'll get x plus y plus 4 equals a positive 2, and then we'll subtract 4 from both sides to get that x plus y equals negative 2 as the solution for number 13. Number 14 is relatively easy. The slope is undefined. And remember, an undefined slope is a vertical line. And a vertical line would be x equaling some number. That's saying that for whatever y value you have, x is always going to be the same. That's what creates that vertical line. But if we're going through the point 2, 5, then that x is going to be equal to 2. Here's our graph. I'll go ahead and say that this point, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, occurs approximately here. And if we have a vertical line going through that point, then x is going to be equal to 2. And that's our equation for number 14. Number 15, y minus y1 equals m 1/2 times x minus x1, which is 3. Distributing the 1/2, we'll get 1/2 x minus 3/2. Subtract 1/2 x from both sides, we'll get negative 1/2 x plus y minus 1 equals negative 3/2. Now we're going to add 1 to both sides to get that negative 1/2 x plus y equals negative 3/2 plus 1 is like saying negative 3/2 plus 2 over 2, since 1 is equivalent to 2 over 2. Now that we have a common denominator, negative 3 over 2 plus 2 over 2 is going to equal negative 1/2. A is a fraction and C is a fraction, but luckily for us, they have the same denominator. So we're going to multiply by a 2 to convert those into whole numbers or into integers. Also within the same step, we're going to convert the A to be a positive number. So as opposed to multiplying by negative 1 and then multiplying by that positive 2, we're just going to multiply by negative 1 times 2, which is a negative 2. So multiplying both sides by negative 2 will take care of the fractions by converting them to integers, and it's going to take care of the fact that that A is negative. So distributing the negative 2, negative 2 times negative 1/2 is a positive 1, so that's going to be x plus negative 2 times y is negative 2y, and that's going to be equal to negative 1/2 times negative 2, which is positive 1. X minus 2y equals 1 is the equation through the point 3,1 with the slope of 1/2 in standard form. And finally, our last problem in this section, number 16. Y minus y1 is y minus 2, and that's equal to the slope 2 times x minus x1, which will be x plus a positive 1. Distributing that 2, we'll have y minus 2 on the left-hand side equal to 2x plus 2 on the right. Now, in all the previous problems, I've started by subtracting the x. However, the x is already positive in this case, so I'm going to show you a different method or a different set of steps you can take. Instead of moving the x to the other side, let's go ahead and move the y this time. So we're going to subtract y from both sides at the start. We'll have negative 2 on the left, and that's going to be equal to 2x minus y plus 2. 2x plus 2 minus y. Now, let's subtract the 2 from both sides to get that negative 4 equals 2x minus y. And this is essentially already a standard form. We just have to flip this equation. So what's on the right, we're going to write on the left, and what's on the left, we're going to write on the right-hand side. So 2x minus y, or plus a negative y, equals negative 4. Ax plus by equals c. And indeed, the a is positive, a, b, and c are all integers, and they do not have a common factor between all three. So 2x minus y equals negative 4 is the solution for number 16. If you have any questions on point slope form or standard form, go ahead and check out a couple of the tutorial videos in my tutorial section on YouTube. Also, please subscribe and don't forget to like this video. And now on to the last video for the writing linear equations worksheet on the KutaSoftware website. I'll leave a link in the description below how to get to that. But in this video, we're going to write the point slope form of the equation of the line described. Now in the last video, we used point slope form to help us get to standard form. So let's go ahead and write the format of point slope form. since we're already pretty familiar with it. We'll have y minus y1, which y1 is the y-coordinate of the given point, and that's going to be equal to m, which is the slope, times x minus x1, where x1 is the x-coordinate of the given point. So there's two things we need for point-slope form. We need an x1 and a y1, and we need to know that slope. In number 17, our x1 and y1 are 4 and 2, and it says that the equation we're looking for is parallel to y equals negative 3/4 x minus 5. In order for a line to be parallel to another line, they have to have the same slope. The slope of this equation, which is in the form of y equals mx plus b, is negative 3/4 x. So we're going to use that same slope to form our new equation. So we're going to have y minus y1, so y minus 2 is equal to m, which we know is negative 3/4, times x minus x1, which is 4. And that's the answer for number 17. Y minus 2 equals negative 3/4 times x minus 4. In number 18, we have our x1, y1, and we also know that our new equation is going to be parallel to y equals 7/3 x plus 3, which is in the form of y equals mx plus b, so slope-intercept form, where our m is 7/3. In order for an equation to be parallel to another equation, they have to have the same slope. So the slope of this equation is going to be the same slope in our new equation. So we'll have y minus y1, which is y minus a negative 3, and that's going to be equal to our m of 7/3 times x minus a negative 3. And let's go ahead and clean this up. When you subtract a negative, you're adding a positive. So that's going to be y plus 3 equals 7/3 x plus 3. And that's the solution in number 18. In number 19, our x1 is negative 4, our y1 is 0, and it's parallel to y equals 3/4 x minus 2. And parallel means it has the same slope, and the slope is that 3/4. So y minus y1 is y minus 0, and that's equal to m, so 3/4, times x minus x1, which is that negative 4. Simplifying, y minus 0 is simply y, and that's equal to 3/4 x minus the negative plus the positive. So y equals 3/4 times x plus 4. Again, we can find our slope since it's parallel to y equals negative 5x plus 2. And here's our x1 and our y1, because that's the given point that we're going through. Y minus y1 is y minus 4, and that's equal to our m, which is negative 5, times x minus x1. So we're subtracting a negative, which is the same as adding that positive 1. Y minus 4 equals negative 5 times x plus 1. Number 21, here's our x1, there's our y1, and it's parallel to this equation, and this equation has a slope of 1/3. Y minus y1 is y minus 0, which is simply y, and that's going to be equal to our m, or our slope of 1/3, times x minus x1, which is 2. So in point slope form, we have y equals 1/3 times x minus 2. Number 22, x1 is 4, y1 is negative 4, and it's parallel to y equals negative x minus 4, which we know is the same as negative 1 times x, so negative 1 is our slope. Y minus y1 is y minus a negative 4, which is y plus 4, and that's going to be equal to our m, or our slope of -1, times x minus x1, which is 4. And that's the solution for number 22. Moving on to number 23, x1 is -2, y1 is 4, and we know our slope is -5/2 since it's parallel to this line, and the slope of this line is 5/2. So since it's parallel, they have the same slope. So we have y minus y1, which is 4, equals m, which is -5/2, times x minus x1, which is going to be minus a -2, which is plus a +2. Y minus 4 equals -5/2 times x plus 2. And now lastly, number 24. x1 is -4, y1 is -1, and we're parallel to this line, so that means we have the same slope as this equation, which is -1/2. Y minus a y1, which is -1, equals m, -1/2, times x minus x1 of -4. Cleaning this up a bit, we'll have y plus 1 equals -1/2 times x plus 4. And that is the solution to the last problem on this worksheet. Go ahead, give me a thumbs up if you found this video helpful, and also don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you have any questions or you want me to do a specific worksheet, go ahead and leave a comment below, and I'll get to that as soon as I can.